Quite honestly, even if DeMar won the MVP. Just saying.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And guys, what's your take on Toronto so far?
Defense paying huge dividends for them through the first.
Excellent hustle, and you know the coach has to be pleased with that effort at the defensive end.
Taking a look at the 76ers. Young in at shooting guard. Grant is out there with Carl Landry. Then it's Tony Roten. And it's Boyd in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. And a chance here to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Well, Kev, Freak in the last matchup against the Celtics really lit it up from the floor. He finished with 22 points and played some lockdown defense as well, causing havoc on both ends of the floor. A bit of a surprise attack for him, as he is usually just regarded as a role player on his team.
And thank you, Doris. It was a performance that has to have their upcoming opponents terrified.
Yeah, I think they'll be a little afraid. I mean, anybody who saw that game has to still be in awe of what he was able to do. Just absolutely dominant.
Boy, I tell you, he was in such a rhythm and on a roll. He could have won that game all by himself.
Second quarter of basketball, about 1 minute played so far. Screen by Scola. Lowry kicks to Scola. Here's Carroll. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Just 5 to shoot. The Raptors need to get a shot off. Lowry inside the line. And Philadelphia grabs the miss. This, their first look at this year's Toronto squad.
Yeah, and the season series between these two, 4 games in all, starting tonight, a chance to stake out an advantage in the division.
Yeah, I agree with you, Greg. That's always valuable. Not just a win, but seeding advantages down the line. I'm looking forward to this. Still trailing, but their offense is off life support here in the second quarter. It's got a pulse.
Good point, Clark. They're starting to make some shots, looking to try and get back in this one.
At this break in the action, we can show you the teams that had the most rebounds last season. In fourth, the Raptors.
There's not a whole lot to complain about with these numbers. I mean, they made a commitment to rebounding last year, and it was obvious. It showed on a consistent basis. They put great effort into rebounding the ball last season.
Young with the steal. Here's Roten, and he hits it to tie the game up.
That's a quick bucket there. Solid in transition.
Well, you know, he loves the chance to get out and run, and we could see right there why he does.
And Joseph kicks to Scola. It's good, and he makes his first shot of the game.
Pretty passing. Timely recognition as to where the open man was.
Young, a screen on Lowry. And Young, here we go, to the inside. Landry gets the bucket.
Yeah, the chemistry has been terrific. Really impressed with their offensive execution.
You know, the defense, Greg, has really been kept off balance because of the outstanding passes. 4 straight field goals have been made off an assist.
The shot by Carroll, no good.
They've been strong on the boards. There's no disputing that.
That's what the box score says, but still anybody's game.
Young with the ball. Picked up by Joseph, beyond the arc. And he drops it in. Just a pretty release there from Young. And it's a 3-point 76ers lead. For Toronto, they've gotten only 1 of their first 4 shots in the second quarter to drop. Down low. Here's Joseph. It's tipped. Carroll against Young. Grant dishes to Young. Another 3 for Philadelphia. And a breakdown here, guys. The hustle stats for the 76ers.
You know, they've done a great job of getting a hand up on shooters. Actually have gotten a lot of blocks as well, solidifying that defensive effort.
And the intensity is carried over into their ability to get out in passing lanes and really be disruptive in terms of their opponent's offense.
There it is again. On a lot of their possessions this first half, they've established great position inside.
Yeah, just getting the ball into the post has to be option number 1 for them right now.
Catching up on the changes for Toronto. Patterson, he's checked in for Jonas Valanciunas. Johnson comes in for DeMar Carroll. And it's DeRozan in for Corey Joseph. Here's DeRozan. It's tipped and stolen by Noel. And out of bounds as Toronto gains possession.
Well, that's inexcusable to throw a pass that far off the mark.
Ross is checked in for Toronto. Raptors trail by 3. Lowry kicks to Ross. Back to Lowry.
2 minutes remaining first half. 2 minutes.
Just 5 on the clock. Ross kicks to Johnson. Lowry inside the line. And that one goes long.
Boy, there was no hand in his face right there. I thought for sure he was going to knock that down.
Pass to Noel. Right through the knee for the layup. And the 76ers lead by 5.
Man, can you always depend on him or what to lead you to the right place with that pass? Money.
Outside DeRozan. They get a hand on it. Young with the steal. Here's Covington. He's guarded by Ross. Young with no one around. It's good from long range. And now an 8-point 76ers lead.
The field goal percentage has been bumped up into the high 50s now.
And when you're shooting like this, you should be winning. They're scoring with tremendous efficiency.
Patterson. That falls. Nice feed that time from Kyle Lowry. Lowry's got 3 assists in the game. Pass to Covington. His shot is good, making him a perfect 2 for 2 from the floor.
Assists like that have typified their effort today. Terrific ball movement.
Really a prime example of the difference in how these teams have operated offensively. Much more individual play at the other end.
Outside DeRozan. Outside Lowry. Got a hand on it. And they force the shot clock violation. Great D.
Now into the lineup, the 76ers.
The 76ers leading by 8. Young with the ball. He's coming off a 22-point game against Boston.
And don't forget about his playmaking in that game either. I mean, he did a great job of attacking the D and creating opportunities for both himself and his teammates.
That'll do it for the first half. 76ers ahead, leading by 8. And time now to go courtside.
Hey, Kevin. Well, Coach Casey, obviously it's early in the season, but
the second half beginning in just a moment. You look at Freak in this game. Toronto will go for a different look here. Patrick Patterson. He's checked in for Jonas Valanciunas. Johnson comes in for Luis Scola. Terrence Ross is checked in for DeMar Carroll. And Corey Joseph subbed in for Kyle Lowry. DeRozan at the 2 with Ross playing the 3. James Johnson is out there with Patrick Patterson. And it's Joseph in at point guard. So that's the 5 in the game for Toronto. To the paint, it's tipped and stolen by Noel. And now Philadelphia on the break. And Young with the basket on the assist by Grant. Grant's got 3 assists in the game. So for the 76ers, their last game, a win against the Boston Celtics.
And the way they attacked the basket in that game was unreal. I mean, after a while, the defenders seemed to just wave the white flag.
Yeah, like you said, I mean, that's what will happen when a team continues to attack the basket and come away with layups. The defense tends to get demoralized and deflated.
And Young kicks to Roten. He dishes it to Grant. There's a screen by Noel. Off the screen, and again, it's Philadelphia.
That's the 3rd bucket in a row from the paint. This defense needs to clog those lanes in the middle much more effectively.
You just cannot allow the offense to have that quality of a look each and every possession.
Ross on the wing. Toronto working the ball around now. DeRozan lays it up and banks it in. DeRozan's got 6 points.
You got to love the big bucket in the paint in this sort of grinded-out physical game.
That's the kind of look they can continue to go with. Maybe that'll help them create some separation on the scoreboard.
And it's Young finishing it off.
And very little fight put up by the defense as he made his way to the bucket for the jam.
They did seem to take the cautious approach, Greg, when it came to defending that one. You're right.
And guys, it's not the time for caution now. I mean, they've got to be aggressive and take some risk to see if they can cut that lead down.
And to look at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for the 76ers.
And I like how they've taken the high percentage shot in the paint. In that first half, we saw them doing it, and they've continued to succeed as the game has worn on.
They've repeatedly gotten out on the break tonight as well and scored a lot of baskets in transition.
And Embiid throws it down.
Taking it to the rack with power right there.
And hammering down with the two-handed slam.
Just piling on the lead with a dunk like that.
And Joseph kicks to Johnson. To the paint. Here's Ross. The rebound by Young. It's a 4-second differential between the shot clock and game clock. From deep. Rebound by the Raptors. Coming into this having notched a win against Cleveland in their last game.
And really the signature of that game was what they were able to do from a defensive standpoint, particularly on the low post.
Yeah, and they were up in the air an awful lot in that paint area, getting their hands on shots, a lot of them, but if they didn't block them or touch them, they actually changed it.
And we've reached the end of the third. 76ers lead by 5. We'll be back shortly live from the Air Canada Center in downtown. All right, we welcome you back to what's been a hard-fought battle. Fourth quarter should be good. Philadelphia's gotten fewer than half of their three-pointers to go down tonight. They're 4 for 9. Okay, now let's reset our lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this fourth quarter. Taking a look at the 76ers. Young, he's in at shooting guard. Joel Embiid out there with Carl Landry. Then there's Okafor, and it's Marshall in at the point. Passes it to Young. Here's Okafor. Luis Scola with the rebound. Scola's got 3 rebounds so far in the game. Lowry kicks to Joseph. Back to Lowry. Landry grabs the miss.
It's been a real difficult game for him offensively, and it's cost him.
Young with the ball. Picked up by Joseph. Shoots from the corner, and that one swishes right in. And that's 23 points for Freak. Raptors trail by 5. Lowry passes to Joseph. Knocked away. And they're on the break. Here's Young. And down it goes, jamming that one home.
And really just straight to the basket with a full head of steam.
Well, if you're going to throw it down, make sure you throw it down with force.
Outside Lowry. Down low. Scola against Embiid, and it's going to be a 3-second call. Jeremy Grant, he's checked in for the 76ers. Tony Roten comes in for Young. So it's the 76ers taking the win in a close game. A narrow win under difficult circumstances, Greg, as the visiting team.
It really was, but that didn't seem to bother them. I mean, road team, home team, all I know is...
The 2K Sports postgame show.
Hey y'all, Ernie Johnson here along with Kenny Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. Welcome back. Freak. Talk about lighting it up in the second quarter. My word, that was just huge. And the impact carried them through the entire game.
I can't imagine a player having a better night from the field than he had tonight. His shooting percentage was off the charts. He used every trick in the book to get those high percentage shots. He shot from every direction, and there was a little bit of luck here and there, but he was on fire.
He came off the bench and torched him tonight. That's my torch sound, Ernie. I know it don't sound like a torch, but I know you feel the heat. I don't think the plan was for him to play as big as he did tonight. But once this kid hit the floor, it didn't take long for him to take over.
And that'll do it for our broadcast tonight. Hope you enjoyed